International photographer Bhaskar Krishnamurthy and myself have visited India several times in recent years to show how India is working to resolve its problem of human-elephant conflicts by adapting an ancient mahout culture to try to help. Along with groups of students and our organization, Click Abroad, we've been observing the elephant conflicts in southern India for years. This is video of elephants raiding a large Tata coffee plantation that grows beans for Starbucks. Look closely and you'll see 5 elephants there. Elephants raid here almost daily, but elephants also raid smaller farms, eating rice, millet, bananas, jackfruit, mango, and many other crops. People advance multiple explanations for why elephant conflicts appear to be growing. Stalks of bamboo, one of the prime foods for elephants in the forest, have declined sharply in recent years because of a rare flowering and die-off event, something that only happens every 45 years or so. Look closely and you can see the ribs of these wild elephants. Elephants now range in search of other foods. Because of human development, ancient elephant migration paths are often blocked by modern farms. Yet the cultivated crops now growing there are highly nutritious not only for people, but for elephants. And where elephants go, most of the time they spend eating. Small farmers whose livelihood can be destroyed by a group of elephants tend to blame the forest department. Here's a farmer we met trying to chase 13 elephants from his small coffee estate.
Sometimes they kill people. It's happened a lot of times in Coog. The forest people have to take steps to prevent this, which they are not doing it.
And this is a coffee farmer who was crippled by an elephant he encountered while he was out showing his estate to a surveyor.
When I turned, there is elephant staring at us, standing, single, about to move. Both ears widely stretched, without any movements. I could see only its 2 ears. So big. When we started running, it also ran towards us. So it caught me, it hit me. Tusk. I fell down, helpless. I became helpless. I could not get up. Fortunately, elephant went away.
Not all are so lucky. These 2 girls, aged 14 and 15, lost their mother as she worked in front of her home one morning when an elephant wandered through their neighborhood.
So she says December 29th, it was a normal day, it was a Monday. And they got up, they got ready, went to the school. And around 10:30 or 10:45, they don't exactly remember the time. They got an information to the school that something has happened and they have to come back quickly here. And by then they had already brought the dead body here. She says she was a little afraid to see the body because it was damaged beyond recognition. So she says the body was beaten up by the elephant.
Between 100 and 300 people are killed by elephants each year in India. And people kill elephants too, some 40 to 50 a year. However, India forbids killing elephants. Elephants are a heritage animal and protected by law. In addition, ancient customs and taboos have forbidden elephant killing for 1,000 years. For many, the elephant is revered and worshipped as the image of the god Ganesh. The government and private entities have tried various solutions. They have relocated troublesome elephants. They have dug elephant trenches around national forests and parks. They have erected solar electric fences around plantations. Some farmers have consciously changed their agricultural practices, avoiding crops that elephants find attractive. Yet, all of these solutions have had, at best, limited success. And that is why, over the past 3 years, we have seen these giant cages go up around the forests of southern India. Usually built in groups of 4, the cages are constructed of logs a foot or more in diameter. They stand 15 feet tall or higher, and they have just enough room inside for an elephant to stand and turn around. The cages are the most prominent sign of India's turn toward this ancient solution for elephant conflicts. It is a modern adaptation of a practice at least 3,000 years old, dating back to the days in India when the power of an army could be measured by how many elephants it traveled with. The government now relies on forest tribal groups such as the Janukaruba tribe, who have long histories as mahouts, and now they are being called upon to capture and care for rogue elephants. Both government officials and other forest people say the Janukaruba have a unique relationship with elephants. As one mahout told us, they don't choose their elephants, the elephants choose them, with their incredible sense of smell. At one time, mahouts held an extremely prestigious job, deriving esteem from that of the elephant, that of the king, and that of the temple. But the new mahout is a government employee, paid like a truck driver, yet extremely important to India's plan for elephants. We were there in March 2014 when these 4 cages, with one wall left unfinished, were built in an isolated area along the river Kaveri. Then we watched 2 elephants trucked in after being tranquilized and captured at another location. They were driven into the cages by mahouts riding much larger elephants. Finally, those 2 other elephants pushed the captives into a corner, then stepped out, and then they built the 4th wall, trapping the captives inside. The captive elephants spent 3 months in the cell, tended to by a mahout and a kavadi, their assistant, living in tents with their families on the site. This process of training the elephant involves first withholding water and food to make the animal receptive, then gradually providing sustenance in return for the elephant's submission and acceptance of commands. It's a method that's part B.F. Skinner and part Stockholm Syndrome, but the elephants and mahout become tightly bonded to each other.
Oh, they say elephants is as their child. They are ready to give their lives for elephants.
Eventually, the elephant is integrated into a new family, a social group where the Janukaruba men, women, children, and elephants share the same space, the same water, the same schedule, an arrangement that is expected to last for their entire lives. This is one of 3 elephants we followed up on a year after observing it in the cage. All were reputed man-killers when we saw them last year, but this year the same elephant stood quietly while we were only a few feet away, interviewing the mahout. During the day, the elephant is released into the forest. In the morning, it is brought back in to be bathed and fed. This animal is no longer a wild elephant, but neither is it a zoo animal, nor a pet, nor a beast of burden. The veterinarian who oversees these captive elephants says they will live longer and better here than they will in the wild.
And so that the treatment will be very perfect for the animals which are suffering with any ailments. And also here what we give the ration, the feed ration, according to its body weight, that will be provided every day. And we give bath, every day we will give bath, and it will be taken back to the forest, and there good amount of fodders will be there to retain its natural instinct.
Are the elephants happy here?
Yeah, really very happy in the sense you can see its the relation with the mahouts, with the kavadis here, and how these people will take care of those elephants, because here each elephants will be taken care of by 2 people, one mahout and kavadis, and they are treating they are looking after like a domestic animal.
He might say this elephant now has the best of both worlds, yet others say it's more like an inmate on work release, and they are not happy with this program.
It's a horrible thing. I will never go there. Sometimes I think it's better to shoot every animal. Then instead of killing slowly, it's better you shoot them, let them die. Instead of killing every day, they are killing. It's a sad, I will tell you.
Give that elephant a proper place, it will not become a rogue. See, they have their own mind. Understand that. Then, with love and affection, that also we can cure it. But unfortunately, we think that we are all the bosses. We can rule over all these things. That is an unfortunate understanding.
Yet the capture of elephants has given new life to tribal groups such as the Jenakaruba. Mahouts are now forced department employees, paid between $1,500 and $3,000 a year. Still, that's a small fraction of the $60,000 to $150,000 per year that the government says it costs to care for each captive elephant. And it raises the major question facing this program: sustainability. This is the scene after the mahouts staged a 2-day strike, and an elephant, unmanageable without the mahout, destroyed a family's temporary housing. Can Indian government bureaucracies be relied upon to care for these elephants and their mahouts and their families for the next 50, 60, 70, or 80 years? Even government officials wonder that.
Capturing problematic elephants from one area and keeping it in the camp is not a solution, and that is not what even the government is or the forest department is attempting. First priority is to relocate the animal. If we can relocate the problematic animal from A area to B area, that is the first. Only as a last resort, if we can't do anything about that, then only the elephants, because it's not really advisable to keep so much captive population of elephants, and that department is actively discouraging it actually.
Here are a few of the issues. Will these mahouts and their successors be willing to work for low wages, to live in forest housing without toilets or running water, to work without job security or health care plans for the foreseeable future? And is that acceptable? Can the tribal culture of Jenakaruba Mahoutri be sustained in the face of mandated education for tribal children, India's continuing modernization, and the low esteem in which society currently holds mahouts? Finally, can growing elephant camps be sustained in the forests when we see increasing demands for capture of troublesome elephants? There are 37 elephants now at one camp, and another 125 have been approved for capture. Significant environmental pressure is being placed upon concentrated areas, and little useful work or purpose exists for the elephant populations. That's why we see the need for the creation of a global elephant research center in southern India to examine ongoing effects of removing these troublesome elephants from the wild. There remains a significant question about whether these efforts to reduce elephant conflicts are indeed sustainable. The Global Center needs to be a showpiece of education, of empowerment, and sustainability, all aimed toward cultivating a responsible relationship between man and elephant. Land near Mysore has already been committed, and a world-class architect has already said he would design the facility. And D.K. Bhaskar is in the midst of obtaining funding to build and operate this center. No one has good answers to the problems of elephant conflict and whether this form of domestication of elephants is truly an answer. But we hope people will join in trying to gather information and make the best decision. People can go to our website, clickabroad.org, and join us in trying to save not only the elephants, but also the culture that surrounds them.